Hello everyone, this is Professor Robert Solis. Welcome to this video lesson. Let's continue talking about recursion. And in this case, we're going to create a number, a running sum, as opposed to what we did before, which was a running product. That's what factorial is. So I'll click File, New, Project. We're going to create an empty project. And we'll say this is recursion. I'm going to put the number 3 because this is part 3, and we're dealing with a way of creating a running sum. So recursion 3, running sum is what we're trying to do. Click OK. I'm going to go to the Solution Explorer, select source file, actually right click I should say, source files, add a new item. And the new item is going to be a C++ file, so there it is, C++ file. It's calling it source.cpp, that's fine. I'll just click add. Let's go ahead and type in our boilerplate code. So iostream, using namespace, std, int main, system pause, return 0. And of course I'm going to have my declarations comment, get user inputs, calculation, and I'm going to type output, although it doesn't seem like we're really going to have any output. The calculation and the output we're going to combine into one. Okay, well first of all, let me just create a comment over here, a block comment at the top here. User recursion. Use recursion, sorry. Recursion to determine the sum of numbers from a given number to 1. Assume that the user will enter a number greater than or equal to 1. Now, if I don't want to assume that, and if I want to make my program more robust, then I could just simply create a while statement that says enter a number. And if the user enters a bad number, I'm going to say invalid input, enter a number. And we'll keep on doing that over and over again. But here I'm just going to assume the user is going to enter a number that's greater than or equal to 1. All right, let's work on the function prototype. So let me press enter a couple times here. And we're going to create a function called RunningSum. You've got to give me a whole number, and I'm going to call this the add-in par. I think mathematicians say like the two numbers that you add together and then you get a sum, you get a result. The two numbers that are adding together, they're called add-ins. So what is this add-in plus this add-in is going to equal the sum. All right, so I'll copy this and paste it at the very bottom and create my function definition. So enter, enter, here we go. Let's get rid of that semicolon and add 2 curly braces. All right, so notice what the requirement says. Use recursion to determine the sum of numbers from a given number to 1. So in other words, 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, 1 is our base case. So given that, I'm going to have an if statement. If the parameter that you sent to me, which I'm calling add-in par, if that's equal to 1, then that's my base case. Let me put an open and close curly braces. I'll put a comment over here that says this is the base case. Now, if you have reached the base case, then I'm just simply going to return the number 1. If I have not reached that base case, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to return, for example, 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. I could send what is 5 plus the running sum of 4? What is 4 plus the running sum of 3? What is 3 plus the running sum of 2? And so forth and so on. So what I'll do is I'll return the add-in parameter, which at first let's say it's the number 5, plus the running sum of 5 minus 1, which is 4. So running sum, add in parameter, minus 1. So it's very similar to our factorial problem that we were working with. You understood that 5 factorial is really the same thing as 5 times 4 factorial. Well, in this case, we're working with sum. So what is 5 plus the running sum of 4? And the running sum of 4 is 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. So we keep on doing this over and over again until we get to some base case, and then we're done. All right, so now we can go back to our main program. I'm going to create a user number in the get user input. Well, first of all, let me press enter here. In the get user number, we'll say cout, enter an integer greater than or equal to 1. We're going to get that number and put it into the variable user num. In terms of my calculation, I want to say something like the running sum from 5, say for example, to 1 is, and then whatever that running sum happens to be. So we'll say cout, the running sum from, okay, well, whatever the user number is, so I'll send out the user number. Then I'll send out a string that says to 1 is, and then now I need to determine what the running sum is of the user number, which in my example I've been using 5. So we'll say running sum, user num, and then call the end-else statement. There really is no output, so what I'll do is I'll just take this guy over here and say calculation and output. Okay, let me save my work, run the program, and let's see what happens, and then we'll step through the program and investigate it that way as well. I would recommend that you do that at home after you finish your program. Step through it, making sure you understand step by step what's happening. Okay, enter an integer greater than or equal to 1. I'll enter the number 5. So let's see here. 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 2 is 12. I'm sorry. 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14, plus 1 is 15. So the running sum of 5 should be 15. The running sum from 5 to 1 is 15. Okay, perfect. Let's try it again. Let me enter the number 10. What is 10 plus 9 plus 8 plus blah, blah, blah? That's 55. Let's stop the code, specifically at this point when we are calling the function. Run the program. Then we deal with the little number, 3. So what is 3 plus 2 plus 1? We're stopping the program over here. So we're stopping time. Let me go into the function. So here it is. The number that was given to us is 3, because that's what our initial number is provided by the user, number 3. So now, is that number 3 equal to 1? No, it's not. So we're going to go to the else statement. We are going to return what is 3 plus, we're calling the running sum with 3 minus 1. So we're sending the number 2 to the function. Let me step into that, and sure enough, here's the number 2. That's not 1. We are now going to call 2 plus whatever 2 minus 1 is. So let's call that function, and that's going to be 1. All right, is the add-in, is 1 equal to 1? Yes, it is. So now we begin our unraveling. We've called the base case, so now we begin our unraveling by adding this to whatever the add-in par is, and so you can see what's being returned here. The auto section here does a good job of showing you what the function is returning. It looks like it's returning 1. We're going to add that to 2, so it's going to be 3. And then we're calling it again. We've got 3. We're going to add that to 3, because 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 6. Then we jump out. Let me go ahead and click continue since I'm back over here at the cout statement. And sure enough, an integer greater than or equal to 3, or 1 rather, is 3. The running sum from 3 to 1 is 6. Okay. So again, a beautiful way of making this type of what could be used as an iterative solution. We can use a recursive solution of a function calling itself over and over again. All right, so this is Professor Robert Solis. I hope this video lesson was helpful. Have a good day. See you next time.